Hi everyone, welcome to episode 70 of the arieknits podcast. My name is Ariel and this is a video podcast where I talk about all the things that I've been knitting and spinning on for the past week. And this week I don't have too many new things. I do have one new cast on, but it's small. And I've just been working on the same projects that I've been working on for some time, but I've made some big progress on one project in particular. I've been really enjoying the process of knitting it, and I'm really excited to show it to you all because I made a ton of progress from last time. So I think that this I might jinx it, but I think that this will be a little bit of a shorter video today, but I'm excited either way. So let's start with what I'm wearing today. I am wearing the Soho top by Caidree. It's a project that I finished back in 2022, like the end of 2022, so it's been some time, it's been in my wardrobe for some time, and I feel like today was kind of a good day to wear it because it was actually quite warm today, although seriously, like as soon as I was like, oh wow, it's so nice outside, it was warm. I took a walk today outside and it was really nice, and now it's kind of back to being cloudy again and a little cold, but I think we'll still be okay. But yeah, Soho top by Caidree. It is a garter stitch tank top, and the yarn I use for this is Woolberry Fiber Co. in the Berry Merino base, which is the fingering weight yarn, held double though, so this is really like a DK weight pattern, but I held fingering weight yarn double. The colorway is Haven, and I really like this colorway. I'm really happy with how it came out. I knit size 2 according to my notes. I used US 4 and US 6 needles. And final measurements, I measured this before I put it on today. I have 32 inches in circumference, which gives me about 2 inches of positive ease, and I actually really like the fit of this. I've been meaning to make another one of these tops for some time. And so when I was figuring out what I wanted to wear today, I remembered, I was like, oh, I wonder what kind of tank tops I have since it is too warm to wear a sweater today. Came across this one, I was like, I kind of forgot about it. You know how it goes when the weather's warm and you just wear all your sweaters. There's a time where you kind of forget about your knitted warm weather knitwear. So I was like reminded about it, so want to wear this a bit more and just remind myself I do want to make another one. I have some yarn in stash in mind to make another one, so hopefully this year will be the year that I make a second one because I actually really like it. But I will be totally honest, I wasn't sure if I was going to like wearing it because it's DK weight. Even though it's a tank top, I was like, will it be too warm to wear? And I do think that if it's like really hot outside, it'll probably feel a little, just a little weighty, I guess, for a tank top. But it's surprisingly there hasn't been too many times where I felt like this top was too hot to wear. It's really nice, and I think if you go with maybe like a one strand of DK weight versus holding a fingering weight double, you could end up getting a lighter fabric than my current one, and probably even better if you use like a non-wool or like a plant-based yarn fiber, that you could get a really nice and drapey fabric with this. I do think that this one is a bit on the thicker side, but again, like I actually just really like it. I think it's also very easy to layer. Like you can very easily put on a cardigan if it gets too cold, and it'll just work out really nicely. I really like the neckline on this, and yeah, you can kind of see where I folded it in half, like right here, but that's totally fine. But yeah, this is what it looks like on me. There is like looks like a seam, but it's just slip stitches down the side here on both sides, and I-cord edging. Actually, is it? Yeah, I'm pretty sure it's I-cord edging around the armholes, the neck, and the hem of it. So it's it's a really nice pattern. I really like the final result. I guess the only potentially annoying thing is that it is garter stitch, so when you end up working in the round for the body part of this, you are purling for an entire row or entire round sometimes, so that's just something to keep in mind, but I didn't mind it too much. And yeah, I'm just happy that I am kind of like reuniting with this top, because I was reminded of how much I actually do like wearing it. So yeah, Soho top, very kind of long introduction there, but it's been a while since I have actually, have I talked about this on the podcast before, this top? Maybe. Yeah, maybe? I don't know. Anyway, Soho top. It's been a while. Happy it's back in my wardrobe. Okay, let's move on to talk about my whips for this week. I'm going to start off with, of course, my Sweet Shop Blankets by Laura Penrose. This one's exciting because it is the start of the winter sock sets, and so you'll see the first colors, the first sock set that I chose for the winter section of this blanket. A reminder again that the yarn I'm using is Pasley knits from the 2023 seasons boxes sock sets, and there's 4 sock sets for each of the seasons, and we're on winter. And so let me just hold up this week's 4 squares. Very purple. Let me show you. This is the variegated color, which was a full skein, as you can probably guess. The colorways for this is Svalbard for the variegated, and then Polar Twilight for the tonal. So I will hold that up again. There we go. It's getting a bit harder to hold up this blanket now that it's so big. But yeah, so that is the purple squares. It looks like, you know, very cool purple. I'm totally feeling the winter vibes there, so it's very exciting. And just as a reminder, I'll hold up as much as I can the blanket right now. So we're on this side of the blanket, starting here, and 3 more kind of like sections to go there. But yeah, that's the first one. This is the first week of winter, and it's just really fun. So that is the progress on this blanket. I am really looking forward to finishing this. It just feels like it's coming up really fast, which is I'm just really excited about that. And also because I would really, really like to start planning for a second blanket, and also for the pillow of this pattern. It's not called, what is it called? I talked about it last week, but I want to make that, Stella quilt cushion. I want to make that as well, but I want to start it after I finish this blanket. So it's all things I'm really looking forward to starting after finishing this blanket. But yeah, look at that. It's such pretty colors as always. The variegated looks, I love how watercolory it looks, and the tone is always really nice, matches the theme and the full skein, and that's what I got. Here, look, it's like rolled up now. It's starting to look like an actual blanket. Yeah, okay. So that's my big project. That means 3 more weeks if I still get to do 1 sock set per week. Less than a month left of my Sweet Shop blanket. Okay, next up is another longer term project. This one is my Verglas wrap by Lindsey Fowler, aka my soup shawl. And I didn't make too much progress on this week because, as you'll see soon, I've made a lot of progress on some other projects. But this is a reminder of what I have. Finished half of it, 2 sock sets. I have a lot of like sock set projects going, and I think part of that is like one of my goals this year was to use up some of my sock sets, and so that's kind of why. But I am on this third section here. Here's my stitch marker from last time, and so I kind of maybe doubled what I had from last week, so you know, that's pretty good progress, but I haven't gotten to using the mini skein for this section yet, but we're getting close to it, and so that should be pretty fun. I do think doing the mini skein section of this pattern is probably the more kind of fun section. I mean, which kind of makes sense because the rest of it is just the same stitch pattern, and then the middle here, the mini skeins, are all like a different stitch pattern, and it's a pretty short section. So you like when I worked this one and also this one, I believe I kind of worked them. I did the whole section in like a day because I'm like, it's so short, fun to work on because it's a new stitch pattern versus like the main stitch pattern, and so you kind of just want to like keep going. So yeah, soon to, I don't know if I'll reach it next week, but it should be coming up pretty soon for this third one, and you'll see which pattern I decide to do for that one. Although if you've seen the pattern pictures of this, I'm pretty much just doing the exact same order what the little section of the mini skein pattern. I'm just following it, but I think it works out really well with the coloring. I think, anyway, I'll talk about it when I get there, but just theming wise, I feel like for some reason this reminds me, like this colorway is crusty loaf, which is bread, and I feel like that kind of matches with the crisscross. And then this one, I think in the pattern they call it snowflakes, and I'm like, it's white, and so that kind of matches, you know. So theme wise, I feel like it kind of matches, which I really like, especially because this whole project is basically just using, oh, I didn't talk about it, Coast to Coast Yarn Co. soup sock sets. So 4 of the sock sets from the soup collection, and I just really like it when the themes like that work out. So, and to put it all in one project, because then it feels, I don't know, it feels satisfying, and I just like it when they all can be together in one project. Same feeling I have about the Sweet Shop blanket, is that I was like, how would I use all of the seasons boxes in one project, because they all have a very distinctive like color scheme. But Sweet Shop blanket was a great idea to have them all in one and still look really great together. Same for the Verglas wrap. So yeah, so that is my quick project update on that one. I'm knitting the size large, and I'm using US 5 needles for that one. And moving on to my next project. This one is my Asopo cardigan by Sari Nordlund. I am knitting the size 2 cropped version of this. I'm using US 7 needles, and this time it's weird because I sized up a needle size. I usually size down for projects, but this one I had to size up my needles. And the yarn I'm using is Rerum Natura Gilliatt. I really love this yarn, so it's been great to work with. And let me hold it up. It's got 2 finished sleeves this week. I actually just finished knitting the second sleeve earlier this morning because I really wanted to have 2 sleeves done to show you all today. So where is my stitch marker from last time? Oh, okay, I think it must have been last time I was almost done. I think that this is my stitch marker from where I finished last time when I showed you all last week, possibly. So I finished that first sleeve, and then I started and finished the second sleeve. So now you can see the whole sleeve and the whole cable pattern that's on the top part of the sleeve. So the whole the entire, like all the way around the sleeve is not cable, like on the underside it's just reverse stockinette, so it's all the purl side, and then on the top side is the cable pattern. And I really enjoy how this looks. It has a small, just like a normal twisted cable, which oddly on the camera it's hard to see, like you can't really see that, but it's just your normal twisted cable, just twists in one direction. but it has this other really nice kind of like circly bits. It must actually be called like a particular cable pattern, but I mean, you can see what that looks like. So yeah, so that is, those are the sleeves. Let me just show you maybe like the back. I don't know. It's not attached to any needles right now. The body is on hold, but it might be easier to hold it out to show you. This is what the back looks like. The collar is kind of folded in front here. Actually, I can, let me give it a little try on so you can see it. I had to break into my 4th ball of yarn for this to finish up the second sleeve, but it was just to finish it up, and so I have a little less than 1 entire ball of yarn to finish up the body for this, and I'm curious to see how far I can get lengthwise for this cardigan, but I am working the cropped version, and I was following the yardage for the cropped version, and so it should get me longer than what I have, but yeah, so actually, I mean, feels good. I really like this folded kind of collar up there, and that it kind of just naturally kind of like curls in the front, but you know, it can flatten out like that. It's of course not blocked, and so some things could get kind of, you know, after blocking it'll get a little more kind of flat or smoothed out, but this is what it's looking like so far. I'm very excited for the finished object of this. I think it's going to be really cute and very wearable. I think it'll be warm because it is kind of like a worsted weight yarn, DK weight yarn, and it's kind of, is lofty the right word? Like it's a very warm yarn. So I wonder though, like, because it'll be cropped and oversized for me, because I am knitting the size 2. I could have knit size 1, but I decided to knit size 2. It could be something that is still like really nice to wear. It looks very cute over the Soho top that I'm wearing. Actually, I really like that. But anyway, so yeah, this is what it looks like. Let me show you the sleeves. I followed the instructions for the sleeves. The last decrease was basically like right at the length that I wanted, and so I didn't do any knitting after the final decrease, and then I just knit the cuff 2 inches, and I'm liking the length on the sleeves for that. But that's what it's looking like. And here's the, I would hope that it would, yeah, I'm just, how much more length can I get out of this? Again, I do have pretty much almost one full ball left, so I'm hoping for at least this much more length on it. But it's looking so cute. It's looking very cute. I'm really happy I finally started this project. You know, if I just like sat like this, because you can't see the bottom, it looks like it's done, and I'm wearing it. It looks very cute. So yeah. Oh, this is, if you don't know, this is one of the patterns from Sari Nordlund's book, and it is the first pattern I'm knitting out of her book, and I'm happy I finally started on it. I had the yarn since January to make it, and so it's been, you know, I've been wanting to make it for a while. I knew I was going to make it, so it's exciting that now it is actually like I can try it on, and the sleeves are done. And so, yeah, I really just have the body left to work on. So, yeah, I will take it off now. That is the progress update on this one. And hopefully, I don't think it'll be done next week, but probably be done sometime in May. That's next month, right? Yeah, May. So, just in time for the weather to get warmer, but I'm trying to be, I was thinking about this, and I always feel like I am knitting not for the season that I'm in, or like I want to knit. It's like when it gets cold, I want to knit all of the big sweaters, and then when it gets hot, I want to knit all of the tank tops. But by the time I feel like I'm done knitting them, then I feel like the weather changes. So this year, I'm really trying to just be like, I'm going to knit the things that I want to knit, whether or not it's in the season. So that, because last year I felt like I didn't have new things to wear when the seasons changed, or when the weather changed. And by the time I was done knitting the things during the season where it would be perfect to wear, like, it changed, if you know what I mean? And this kind of came up, I kind of realized this when I was knitting the DK weight socks last week. I was telling myself, I was like, why would I knit DK weight socks now? Because then I won't really be able to wear them. But that's how I felt last year, when I was like, why would I knit DK weight socks in the summer? So I was going to wait, and then I never knit them. And then I was like, I wish I had them. So now I'm just like, you know what? I'm just going to knit whatever I want to knit. And even if it's out of season, I will get to wear it as soon as the weather changes. So, yeah. Sorry, that was a little bit of a side note there, but that is just like how I'm feeling. I'm trying to just like switch my mindset to be, just knit what you want, and it'll, if you can't wear it right away, it'll be ready for you to wear when the weather changes, and you won't have to waste any of that time making something from the start to wear for that season. So I hope that made sense. It's kind of a rant, but yeah, I'm just like trying to convince myself it's okay, because it is okay. Okay, next project. This is the one I've made the most progress on. I'm actually really surprised at how much I enjoyed knitting this. I thought that this project would, it still has the potential for me to take longer time to knit on it, but to be honest, I'm like almost done with it. So yeah, I think it'll be done pretty soon. I really thought that this project would be on my needles for like at least a few months, because it's a big project. All right, have you guessed what it is yet? This is my Vertices Unite shawl by Stephen West. Let me hold up. Where's a good spot to hold up? Okay. Okay, are you ready? Ta-da! Yes, I've knit a lot of it this week. Last week when I showed it to you all, I had section 1 done, which is this big striped, blue and pink striped section, and then I was working on section 2, which is on the bottom here. This is my stitch marker, and it's worked down. So this is where I was last when I showed it to you all, and so I finished section 2, which was worked there. And so this thing is huge, so I need to kind of like stand up and show it to you. So this little kind of section here is section 2, so I finished that up from last week, and then I started section 3, which is this big orangey brown section. It's a big square, but if you look closely, it's actually worked kind of diagonally. The garter stitch ridges, like the rows, are like this, and so you are kind of working outwards like this, and then doing decreases here to make it straight. Hopefully that made some sense. Yeah, hopefully you can see kind of like, yeah, where the kind of diagonal stitches are being made. Finished section 3, and then I did section 4, which is the top section here. It is a slightly smaller section, so it doesn't seem that crazy. I also finished this section. Love that. And then I started section 5, which is right here, this stripe section. That's worked this way, as you can maybe tell. So overall, after section 5, there is a smaller section 6, and then the I-cord, and then it's done. So I think I'm safe to say I'm over halfway done with this shawl now. And okay, last week all I had was these two sections, and I was a little concerned about my color choices. I really liked all 5 of the skeins together, but I'm always a little scared when I have to do color combinations, because sometimes it honestly kind of took me a long time to figure out which colors to place in what order for this. I'm always scared because I'm like, they all look good together, but what if some colors don't look good with, 1 and 1 versus, this and this, and which ones am I going to have that are all, just by themselves, like this brown section. So anyway, I drew it up and I was like, yeah, I think it looks good. But when I started knitting this up, I was like, I don't know. I'm going to keep going, but I don't know how it will actually look up. But now that more of it is done, I really, really, really like it. I'm very happy with it. And I can't wait. I say that about like pretty much all my projects, but I can't wait for it to be done. It is, I just really like it. So, speaking of yarn colors, the yarn I'm using for this is Explorer Knits Cashmere Caverns Sock Base, which is fingering weight yarn in the colorways Altostratus, which is the blue, Rose Quartz, which is the pink, Linen, which is this neutral, really, really light gray color, Chinle, which is like my absolute favorite, brown, purple brown color, and Daybreak, which is this really, really nice orangey red brown color. And then, yeah, just repeating those colors in other sections here. So this, I specifically chose for one of these like one color sections to be Chinle because it looks so good. And then this section I'm working on right now is Linen and Altostratus. And then the last one color section is going to be Rose Quartz by itself, and I also planned it that way because pink is my favorite color, and so I wanted the pink to have its own section as well. So I am, as you can maybe tell, I am knitting the large size. I'm using US 4 needles, which I think is the recommended needle size. And yeah, oh my gosh, I just really, really love how it's turning out. I think the drape of this is really nice. I am very happy with my choice to get the Cashmere Caverns sock base for this. Actually, it wasn't really my choice. I was going to get the normal Denali sock base, which is the Merino and nylon base from Explorer Knits, but when I went to get these colors and I wanted to get these specific colors, I think one of them or a couple of them ran out of the Denali sock base, and I still wanted the colors for this shawl, and so I just got it in the Cashmere Caverns. But I'm very happy that happened because I think it's going to make the nicest, drapiest, soft, large shawl. So very happy that happened for my yarn choices. What else? Okay, this is a large shawl. I mean, it is a lot of knitting. Like, it's not a small project. And I was thinking, I was like, why does this feel like it's going by so fast? Or why am I so just like, anytime I want to knit, I'm like, I want to knit on this. Because, so for one thing, it is all garter stitch, which means you just knit. And it's worked flat, right? So every row you're just knitting, which does make it feel like it goes by faster because, at least for me, my knit stitches work faster than purl stitches, and obviously if you're doing any kind of like cables or whatever, that takes long. And so the fact that this is just garter stitch is really nice. It works up really quickly. It feels like you make a lot of progress when you work on it. And I think the other thing is because it's very like modular, like you do one section and then you make another section. Each section doesn't feel like it takes too terribly long. It's kind of like stripes, you know, you just do a little bit one at a time, and so it just feels, you know, when you just take little sections, you just want to keep going. I think that, you know, this first section is probably it did feel kind of long to work on. It is very large. So that one did feel like it took some time. This second section, just the rows are very long, but, you know, there really isn't that many rows to do, and each row, because there is like the shaping, and so each row gets shorter and shorter as you work on it, and of course, anytime you're doing like a decrease like that, it starts to feel like it picks up the pace. I will say this single color section did feel kind of long as well, but because you kind of change up the instructions a little bit in different sections, so there's like the part where you're, you know, connecting to the sides, because you do that as you go. Once you reach, you know, the end and you're done picking up, there's like different instructions for continuing, and then same for at the end here. So, you know, there's always kind of like check mark points for this if you just feel like you want to get to the next part. This section was a little small. I mean, you know, you kind of can see how it can just work up. I feel like it works up really fast, and so that's what I'm gonna say about that. It's just been really fun to work on. I really did not expect this to be almost done so quickly. Again, who knows? I could put this down for like the next 2 months and not work on it, and then yeah, it will take 3 months to finish it, but I don't really see that because I still feel very motivated to work on this. What else? The yarn management hasn't been terrible because you're only really working with 2 colors at a time, sometimes, at most 2 colors, and there's no kind of like crazy number of ends to weave in because of the stripes. You just switch off every 2 rows, and so you just carry up that yarn on the side, so it's not like you have to cut your yarn every row, because that would be absolutely a big no from me, I think. Actually, I don't know. Would I still make it if I really love it? Maybe. But thankfully, that is not the case here. So, yeah, it's just been really enjoyable. Way more enjoyable to work on than I anticipated. Gosh, I want to make a bajillion of these. Like, as I'm working on this, I'm like, I think that there's potential for me to make another large size, but I also would love to make the small size of this and to use, like, some leftover yarn. I think this would be a great leftover yarn project. And even for the large size, depending on how much of a skein, because you might not even you don't need more than 1 skein of some of the colors, or all of the colors. There is no color you need more than 1 100-gram fingering weight skein of yarn. Yes. Yeah, I only got 1 skein of each of these, so, and I did not use all of them even for the biggest section, so what a great pattern to also like mix and match colors with and kind of like play around with that. And it's so fun to work on. It'll work up so fast. I mean, this large size is working up way faster than I thought, and so I feel like working the small size is just going to go by so fast. And so I would love to knit a small version of this, or the small size of this as well. I haven't looked at what's in my yarn stash, but I'm kind of like really excited to do that, like look through my yarn stash and look through some of my leftover yarn to see if there's color combinations that I would really love to have made in this shawl. So yeah, this has been like the project that I've been working on the most this week, as you can tell. I love now that there's this intersection point of like all of the colors that are being used. All 5 of the colors are represented in this section here, and it's just looking so cute. I'm really happy with it. I can't wait to wear it. It's going to look so good. And it's going to be so soft and so drapey. So yeah, that is my progress update on my Vertices Unite shawl. Okay, And then, okay, I do have one more project to talk about, and this is a new cast on this week, but it's a sock, so it's not crazy. Let me show you. So I am making the bear paw socks again. I know I just casted on my first ones last week, and I'm making a second version of this. However, this version I am making for my boyfriend, so this one is a gift knit for my boyfriend. He wears the other pair of socks, the first and only one pair of socks I've knit for him. He wears them every single day, which is really nice, but I also feel like he'll probably wear through them pretty quickly. So I was like, I feel comfortable knitting him more socks. This one is a DK weight sock though, and so I don't know if he'll wear them maybe anytime soon unless it gets cold again here, but I thought it'd be good for him just to have, again, for whenever the weather gets cold, it will be ready. So let me show you, because I did finish one side. It's so bright and colorful, and me and him are both not bright. We don't like to wear really bright colors, but I feel like for socks it's totally fine and pretty fun to have bright colored socks. And if you notice, this time I'm using two different colors, so I'm I am following the pattern this time for using two colors to make this. So it's a DK weight sock pattern, but it is you could make it with one strand of DK weight, or you could hold two strands of fingering weight double, and the instructions do include how to do, how many rows to knit for having the colors change, and then to hold them together for that marled effect like here on the foot. And you'll also notice that this time the leg part of, or the ankle leg part of the sock is long. So if you watched last week's one, I made a version, but it was pretty much shorties. I think it probably ended up here for me because I just wanted to use up, I'm using the Pasley Knits yarn, the same yarn that I'm using for my Sweet Shop blanket. I have leftovers. I have 80 grams of yarn left of the fingering weight yarn for each of the colors, and so last week I used one of the colors to knit myself a pair, and since that's 80 grams and I'm holding it double, that gave me enough to knit a short height sock for myself. But this time, since I am using two different colors, I have enough yarn to make it a long version. And so I followed the pattern for the size 9, which is the men's small. However, looking at the stitch count, it is the same stitch count as the woman's medium, which is the size I made for myself. So before I cast these on, because I knew I wanted to make this for my boyfriend, I had him try on my socks because I wanted to see how that fit, because mine's, I like how they fit, but it is a little big, and so I am considering when I make myself another pair, I would probably actually knit the woman small size, because I knit the woman medium size for myself. I would probably knit the smaller size, or the size down. I think because my gauge might be a little big. I did not measure my gauge for this because I was like, it's a sock. I think it'll be fine, and if not, I can just rip it out because it won't be that much lost progress. But it actually fit him well. The only thing that really needed adjustment was the length of the foot. And so, but I wanted to see if the men's small size for every single part of the section was the exact same as a woman's medium. And it is. As far as when they talk about cast on numbers and repeat a section a certain number of times, it's the exact same number of things. I think the reason why it is split out between women's and men's, I think the men's large is probably larger than the women's large, if that makes sense. So it's kind of offset. But I think the reason why women's medium and men's small is the same instructions, but it's separate or has its own kind of like section, is because of the yardage. What am I trying to say? The yardage, the yarn estimate yardage, because the sizing chart did have like, a length that's longer, and so it probably would use, the men's small is the same instructions circumference wise, but it takes into account that you might have a longer foot length to knit. I hope that made sense. But yeah, I did follow the men's small instructions, a size 9 for this. And I did make the foot longer than mine's, and I used 2 colors this time instead of 1. I also did knit this, the length of this, 1 inch longer than the pattern states, because I have enough yarn to do that. I really wanted to see if I could use up all the yarn, but that means I had 160 grams total of yarn, and I think that it just would be too long of a sock. I think it actually would be okay. Oh, maybe you could I could have made it longer, and then you could roll it. That could have been an option. Maybe that'll be what I do for my next socks. Maybe for my pair. Maybe I'll do that. Okay. I didn't even think about that, but that's a good idea. At least I think it's a good idea. Anyway, okay, so this is one side that I did. The yarn colors I used, these both are from the summer sock sets, and the colorway specifically, the yellow is called Lemonade Stand, and the blue is Pool Club. They were both the variegated colors, but they felt more tonal, or at least more, this one does have, it's mostly yellow shades, and this one's mostly blue shades. And I thought that that looked really nice together in the marled section here, where I held 1 strand of each. And then the heel, so it starts off, it's a toe-up sock, starts at the toe. I used yellow, which is called the main color in the pattern, and then you do a small stripe of your second color. You do the marling with the ribbing. The heel is done with your second color, or the contrast color. And you finish up at the top doing kind of the same situation as the toe, where you have a little bit of the blue and then a little bit more of the yellow. And I think it turned out really nice. This does, again, look very long, but it's because it's a ribbed sock, so when you end up putting your foot in it, it stretches out and makes it look a little less long. But again, I should have brought my sock blockers out for this, but yeah, so this is the first sock. And then I did start the second side, and I actually got pretty far. Here is the second sock, and actually this morning I worked this whole section. This morning we went to the car service, get my car serviced, and so it never really bothers me to wait there because I get to knit, which is what I'd be doing anyway. So the whole time we were there, I finished this much of the sock, which is really nice. I wasn't sure if I was even going to get to it, but I started shaping the gusset part where the increases for the heel, and so that was surprising, but in a good way. So I could probably get the sock done, if not this week. If I get, not feeling super motivated to work on it this week, I probably can get it done within the next 2 weeks. Yeah, probably should, just so that they're done. Easy, quick project to work on. I really like how the 2 colors are working on this, and so I probably will make a 2-color version for myself pretty soon. I don't know if I would cast it on right after I'm done with this one, because I did cast this on right after finishing my first one, but it is a really nice project, small project to have, that is portable and works up really quickly. So that was my one new cast on this week, the Bear Paw socks. Okay, and then I just have, so that's all of the knitting updates I have, and then I only have one kind of spinning update. I only have one spinning project on my wheel right now, which is the Big Little Yarn Co. Satsumaimo Pie Rambouillet wool, which is looking like this now. I just finished, again this morning, I just finished the third section of wool that I have, and so as a reminder, I got 2 braids of this and I split each of the braids up into 4, so I have 8 total different kind of like mini sections of the wool to work through, and so I just finished the third one, and my plan is to fill up each bobbin with 4 sections, which is like half of everything, basically 1 braid. So only 1 more section to work onto this bobbin. And I don't think I've actually ever filled up an entire bobbin with like 1 braid. I think this one actually might be less than 4 ounces. I was going to say 4 ounces, but I think on the tag it said it was 100 grams, which is actually less than 4 ounces. But anyway, like just 1 braid on one of my ladybug bobbins. And I was kind of worried. I was like, is it going to fit? But I'm pretty sure it'll fit onto here. Colors are looking really pretty. I really do like working on it. I'm actually finding the Rambouillet wool a little hard to work with. I don't know. I can't like figure out exactly why, because it doesn't really feel slippy. But yeah, I actually can't quite figure it out. I think I might have, I mean, it looks kind of consistent, but I do feel like there might be some sections that are a little bit like thick and thin, but we'll see. My plan is to chain ply this, and I've never done like a full quantity of a chain ply, so that is interesting, and I'm a little nervous for it, but right now I'm just enjoying working on the singles for this and enjoying the colors that are coming out with it. So that's my quick update for my spinning. I want to start a second spinning project, but probably not this week. This coming week is going to be a bit of a stressful week, so work-wise. So I don't know how much knitting and spinning I will get done this coming week, but after next week, we'll see what I decide to do. I might try to reward myself with more cast-ons, although I'm also feeling like casting on a whole bunch of things this week as well. I was looking through my stash and I found some color combinations for projects that I'm feeling quite happy about, that I want to cast on. So yeah, we'll see when I cast on those things. But before we finish up the podcast episode, I do have one acquisition to talk about, and I did get in, this was a Woolberry collective yarn. I got my one skein for whatever month this was from, probably last month. I got the Berry Cozy Sock Base in the colorway Flower Shop. And it's like this really, really pale pink color. I mean, it doesn't even look pink, but it's not, maybe it's a pale peach. Like, it's a very, very pale something. It's not just white, with these really cute speckles in it. And I just thought, yeah, it's a cute colorway. I really liked how it looked on a fingering weight base, and I thought I should just get the Cozy Sock base, which is 80% superwash merino, 20% nylon, 400 yards for 100 grams. So I got one skein of that. I think it's really cute. Don't know what I'm going to use it for yet, but it is one skein, so there's kind of a lot of options, I feel like, for one skein. Either to work it as itself, use it for socks, or to use it with the combination of other yarns for a project. But yeah, so that is now all of the updates I have for you all this week. Next week, oh my gosh. Oh, wait. Okay. today, did I say today's Saturday, April 20th, and I saw this morning that the Flock Festival, which is a yarn festival in here in Seattle, the tickets went on sale this morning. I think that there shouldn't be a worry about them selling out, at least anytime soon. I hope not, because I still need to buy my tickets. But it's in a much larger venue for this year, and so that's really exciting. There will be a lot more vendors this year as well. So many vendors that I am excited to see and meet, so I will be buying tickets. And there's also a pre-sale for the merch, and I cannot decide what I want to get for the merch because they're all so cute. But I'm like, do I need another tote bag, even though I love my Flock tote bag from last year, but I already have one. But the logo this year is so cute. Last year's one was also very cute, but this year's one is also so cute, and so I do want something. I think they have stickers. They're going to have a sticker of it, and so I'll probably for sure get a sticker. And then I want some kind of maybe I'll get the t-shirt this year, because I got this sweatshirt last year, and it's very cute. So, and I didn't get a t-shirt last year, so maybe I'll get a t-shirt this year. But yeah, so that is a thing that happened this morning. And then, yeah, let me know if you're going to go to Flock this year. I'm so excited for it. I cannot wait. It's going to be in August. Actually, what's really funny about that, too, is I looked at the dates, and I was like, you know what else is in August? One of the skating competitions, a skating competition that's held at the rink that I practice at. I feel like I haven't given you guys a skating update in some time after all my competitions, but yeah, I decided not to do some of the earlier competitions this year. Actually, so I think there's a couple in May, and I don't want to compete again with my program that I had throughout all of last year and also at sectionals this year. I kind of want to be done. I felt like I did as best as I could I felt really good about my sectionals performance with that program, and I kind of just want to leave it be. I want to have that be its last run, even though I love that program. I want to start a new one, and the next kind of competitions that were coming up that I'm aware of and would drive to in Washington are in May, end of May. That does not give me enough time to start a new program and to compete it. So I decided not to do that until I was like, the next competition I will probably do is the one that's going to be in August at my rink that I practice at, because that's very convenient. But it's happening on the same weekend as Flock, which of course it is. Of course it is. So Flock is gonna happen. I am going to Flock, so that's not really the issue here. The issue I need to figure out, and I think that there's still some time for me to figure this out, is am I going to try and do both? Because most of the time, the skating competition is at night for the adults. That's kind of how it works. So as long as that happens, I could possibly do both. Go to Flock in the day, do the skating competition at night. I don't know. But I also still don't have my new program music worked out. Actually, okay, if you guys have any recommendations for ice skating music, please, I need help with ideas. I showed my coach a couple song ideas, and she did not like any of them. And I had this problem last year as well. She didn't like any of the songs, and then I finally came up with the one that I skated to, and that worked out. But I think this year is going to be another problem with trying to find music. So please, if you have any ideas at all, I just need music to be thrown at me and to listen to, because I can't think of what kind of music to listen to for ideas. So yeah, let me know in the comments down below. There's literally no pressure to do this, but just if you have anything in mind, I just need music ideas. But anyway, so that's a thing, but I am going to flock. Flock it's not an option to not go. But anyway, so those were my thoughts this morning when I saw the flock tickets go out. I knew the dates were already announced, and also for the ice skating competition, but I didn't really look at both of them at once or at the same time. So anyway, that's that. I feel like I had something else to talk about, but then I remembered that, and I was like, yeah, now that's all my brain's thinking about right now. Next Saturday is local yarn store day, local yarn shop, yarn store. And La Mercerie is doing something at the store that's a yarn store on Bainbridge Island. And I would love to go. I do not know if I'm going to go yet, but Hello Lavender is going to be there. Reshma, who does the best stitch markers, she's going to be there, and she already teased one of the designs she's going to have at the store that day, and it's so cute. I need to figure out if I'm gonna go, but I'm not totally sure. Not sure yet, but just, we're just talking now. Yeah, it is now very cloudy and windy outside. I'm very glad we went for a walk earlier because the weather completely changed. It was so nice and sunny and blue skies, and now it's so windy and cloudy. So anyway, now I'm just chatting with you all because I don't want to leave yet, but probably will let you all go now. Hope you enjoyed this podcast video. I know I didn't really have too many new updates this week. I guess really my biggest update was my Vertices Unite, I feel like. So hope you all enjoyed the episode anyway. I hope you all have a great day, and as always, let me know in the comments down below what you've been working on while listening or watching this podcast, because I'd love to hear about it. And also just any of your other thoughts that you'd love to share. And yeah, hope you have fun knitting or crafting, spinning, whatever you love to do. And I'll talk to you in next week's video. Bye.